Hello. I'm Heather.
I'm Ian.
Welcome to Rental Property U's first session of the Real Estate Oregon Trail. Stories from the hard road of real estate.
Yeah.
It's a treacherous little road.
Yeah, you can, definitely get dysentery.
Yeah. You lose your herd, your wheel breaks.
Lose an axle, maybe a couple ox along the way. But hey, this is meant to be a learning experience. It's meant to be 2 cents from 2 people in real estate.
2 cents.
Yeah, you give your 2 cents.
You
give your.
Then it'd be 4 cents.
Well, 2 cents from 2 people.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be 4 cents. That's we mathing.
So, but the thing is, even though the journey is sometimes hard and treacherous, it is worth it.
Oh, definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Like no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
It's just because everybody that is on a path to wealth, most likely 99.9% will have real estate in their portfolio.
Yeah. Yeah.
99.9%. If they don't, they already came with real estate.
Exactly. There you go.
And they sold it.
That's a true story.
And they used that money, and then they bought whatever else they wanted to buy.
I bet you're right. I bet every single, in present day modern society, let's just call it, let's say post-industrial revolution.
Okay.
Which would be early 1900s, when did Ford? 1904?
Yeah.
I think I heard a stat the other day that said in 1894, there were only 3 cars or 4 cars on the road or something like that. Within 10 years, by 1904, it was something like 1 out of every 3 people owned a car or something like that. I should probably know the fact.
You should probably know that fact, yeah.
Yeah, so never mind.
A lot more people owned cars after Henry Ford created the assembly line for cars.
Right, there you go. So, okay, let's say post-industrial revolution. I think your comment that either every person of wealth, first generation wealth, owns real estate, or if they're second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth generation wealth, they came with real estate.
Yes.
I bet you were 100% right.
There's no way it didn't.
Yeah. Or maybe not 100, maybe 99.
Well, I mean, it's an asset that is it's there. It's tangible. You can touch it. As opposed to, stocks or bonds or CDs or, your, I guess what some people say your traditional, right, investment arm, which is investing in stocks, bonds.
Yeah.
Some people cryptocurrency.
Some people like these 2 people.
Yeah. But yeah, almost every single portfolio for somebody that is wealthy. Yeah. There's rich and then there's wealthy. Yeah. They definitely have real estate in their portfolio.
Yeah.
If you don't have real estate in your portfolio, what's your secret?
Yeah. Please,
let me know.
Hopefully they're watching this.
Yeah. Put it in the comments. Hit subscribe.
Yeah.
And then tell me your secrets.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess we believe that because it's the business we're in and we literally see it every day, right? But it's also a part of our own stories. So it's kind of like we are living proof that that's true.
Yeah.
Because real estate made us. I'm not saying we're wealthy.
No.
But I'm not as broke as I used to be.
No, definitely not as broke. No. So a little bit of backstory on me. I was a chef, a cook, chef, whatever you want to call it, for a large portion of my life, up to about 32, I'd say, since I've been in real estate now 8 years. And working too many hours for little pay, not taking any time for family. I cut my what is it? My honeymoon.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess one of my honeymoon is my engagement. Like we got engaged, and I was like, no, I can't take 2 weeks. I can only do 1 week. And then that changed into like maybe 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
And, that was one of the things. I was like, I got to get back to work. Work was like the main concern. And then, I got into real estate, became an agent with Heather. 180 degrees. I have free time. I do work hard, but it's just not the same schedule.
Yeah.
My schedule is a lot, I guess, I would say normal. Because, working 12 to 10 hours, 6-7 days a week. Sometimes that wasn't all the time, but sometimes it was 14 hours, 16 hours, and working holidays, working nights. Didn't get any kind of relief from that, until I made the move to start working in real estate and, start learning about it, start understanding it. And then, my wife's family had already been in investments, in real estate investments previous to that. And so they, she had an idea. My mother-in-law had a really good idea because she, made it work for her. But when I got into this business, like my life became just so much better. Like travel, time with family, a little bit less stress as far as paycheck to paycheck. So, I would say that real estate or owning real estate could be the best thing that could ever happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it was to you, I would argue.
Was.
And it is to me. And I think what it does is it gives you options that you would never have.
Of course.
Because when you were a chef, I remember one pivotal point in your journey of becoming, if you will, in real estate, becoming was when you went to Italy for the first time. With your family. And it was the first time you like left the country.
Yeah.
You could afford to go.
Yeah.
A. B, it was like you could never kind of take that time, or I don't even know if maybe I can't speak for you, but like it kind of opened up your mind in a way, right? It was like, wow, I have flexibility in my schedule. Like I can do this now. And you just went for it.
Yeah.
And now you're a world traveler, And
it took time to like, build up the savings, obviously, and build up, the not just ability. I'm trying to think of the word, like to build up the confidence to be able to leave,
Right.
and go out of town,
Yeah.
and like not worry about what's happening at work,
Right.
Because no matter what, when I was in kitchens, it was they're a man down. I should be there.
It was always a fire drill.
It was always a fire drill, and you have this. I don't know. For me, at least, I had this certain loyalty to every boss that, no matter what, like I was their guy. They needed me, I'd be there. I'd work my ass off. I would do whatever it took to make sure that everything ran smooth, as much as I could without burning out, which I did in the end, because it got to a point where it's like this can't be what my future holds.
It's not sustainable.
No. It's not to say it's a young man's game, but you have to be willing to just not have a life if you want to be super successful in a kitchen starting out, right? Yeah, you can be, you can be a TV cook or, like have your own program, but what you need to do is
most people aren't that.
No, most people aren't that.
No. It's funny what burnt you out in the kitchen. I was really burnt out in real estate.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to hear the different people's perspectives and journeys, because this business doesn't treat you only one way. It's a variety of elements that create the outcome, You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I mean, market conditions, your sphere of influence, the ability to talk to people. If you don't have that ability, that might be a hindrance if you go it a certain way.
Yeah.
But that's a great thing about real estate is you can do it so many different ways.
You truly can. You really can make it what you want to make it.
There's so many different niches.
I think like one thing that made you successful also is like you are really good to just like pivot, and like if you had to go home and do something that you didn't plan on doing, you just like get in alignment with that really quickly, and you just adjust.
I got to do it.
Accept, adapt, overcome is what you've taught me. But that's really like a tenet that you have, and you have tenet principle. And I think that is a really, really, really important quality of being successful in real estate, because the whole concept of this entire eat what you kill, never get paid until you close, don't know what you're going to do the next day, which is truly how it works in this business.
Right.
Like you have a basic idea. Like we knew we were going to do this today, but honestly, we were even supposed to do this Tuesday, but then a closing came up for one of your rental properties actually. And then we moved it to Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always doing things. It's just how it goes.
Pushing the can down the road.
We're always, and if something else popped up, if some emergency popped up today, that would probably take precedence over this.
Definitely.
And we would have to handle that. And then we have a real estate like seminar thing we're going to be in for the next 3 days. So then this would be pushed to like next week. We would get it done though. That's the thing, because we have like, we're professionals. We have experience. So eventually we would get it done.
Yeah. That's the thing. We everything we have to do, we get it done.
We get it done.
But we're just like, our time frame isn't like a deadline at work.
Right.
Unless it's a deadline with a transaction. But
which always takes the priority.
Set in stone.
Yeah. Because the contract, whatever the terms of that are, obviously that's the holy grail.
You got to stick to it.
Of responsibility. And we are like crazy about that stuff. But everything else, we're fanatical. But everything else is kind of like, we kind of go with the flow, don't we?
Yeah, it's great.
But I think you're really good at that. And you've taught me a lot how to be better at it, because I was more like,
if it doesn't fall in line with what exactly I was thinking, it doesn't work.
Throw it away.
Yeah.
It's over.
But you came around to, you got to be adjusted.
Right.
You got to be able to adjust, adaptable. You got to be consistent. That's a big thing you taught me, is consistency. Because if you don't have that, you won't keep going. This is a very, eat what you kill. You got to motivate yourself.
Yeah.
This isn't just sit back and wait.
Right.
When you're starting out, definitely.
No, my God. You got to be so proactive.
You have to hustle. You have to reach out. You got to make moves.
Yeah.
You got to make moves.
You do.
And then you're able to make your own moves.
Yeah. And a lot of times, like what I think holds like potential agents or new agents back from being successful is like, you don't get a direct response or return or closing, if you will, out of that action, out of that work, because you're building, you're just beginning. You're building a database. Like, it's really unrealistic. Okay, Rocky. It's really unrealistic to think you're going to come in here. I don't know. Like, you got to throw so many things against the wall is what I'm trying to say. I have seen people do it where they just blow it out of the water the first year, and they close like 24 deals, which I would call that blowing it out of the water.
That's blowing it out of the water.
Yeah. I mean, if you close 6 deals your first year and you're a solo agent, I think that's pretty good. What do you think?
6 deals?
Yeah.
First year?
That'd be one every 2 months close.
That's great.
I mean, yeah. Rocky.
You need to stop squeaking.
Rocky. We're recording. But, I think you just got to get your head down, and you just got to like get after it. And what I mean by that is you just get busy and you don't like compare yourself.
Yeah. And
you don't know what you're doing anyway. So honestly, if you're just doing something, I feel like you can't really be wrong because you're busy. I think like, okay, you can't be busy staring at the wall or watching Netflix. That's the wrong kind of busy. But the right kind of busy is like, you're just talking to people every day. If you talk to people every day, naturally real estate's going to come in, because don't people just want to talk about real estate?
They want to talk about real estate, or they want to talk about what do you do?
Yeah, what do you do for work? And that leads to real estate. But honestly, a lot of people want to talk about real estate because it's a fun business.
Yeah. People like looking at houses.
They do.
People like the speculation of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. People are always thinking about the next big house.
What's the number one question you get, like when they find out you're in real estate?
Oh, how's the market?
Yeah, how's the market? To be honest, I've never been good at answering that question.
Well, I mean,
I just kind of find my
I never
way.
say, oh, it's great, or it's bad.
I mean, I give some like anecdotal examples.
You have to give an anecdotal because, that's what we are. That's what we know, right?
Yeah.
You can read so many things.
I know.
From Bigger Pockets, or
right?
Any type of investment like blog, but people want to talk about something that interests them.
Yeah.
And what do people like? Talking about houses.
Yeah, they do.
Talking about, it's like, building a portfolio, or, is that is it the right time to buy?
Right, right.
And so we have, answers for a lot of the questions, but it's from our experience.
Yeah.
We give answers from our experiences, not, based on what national database is saying about the housing market today. It's like, because we're in it, we see it every day. We just can only say from our experience what we know.
I think like maybe we because like you're right, and I remember now why I don't ever feel good about answering that question, because it's not always a one answer.
No,
it's like
you got to go into it.
Kind of every answer on that question is like, it depends, and I know that's kind of like, it feels like a cop-out answer, but the reality is it's true. And because we're so crazy about qualifying people.
Yeah.
And we talk a lot of people out of buying real estate because it's like a huge investment.
Yeah.
We really want to know, like, okay, what's your motivation? What's your reason? Where are you coming from? Why do you need to do it? Why do you not need to do it? What's your situation? How much money do you have? What's your wife think? What's your husband think? Oh, okay, the baby's due. You're having the wedding. The kids are graduating. And you're going out to Italy for a month, and you want to buy a house in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Probably not the right time.
Probably not the right time.
Yeah. So
definitely not the right time.
So even though the market might be great, like the best time of 40 years, it might not be your right time. And that's going to be a disaster.
Circumstantial.
I think that's the best way to say, okay, so maybe the answer, okay, so how's the market?
What's your circumstances?
There you go. Hey, I like that. I'm going to answer it like that.
Well, and then,
what's your circumstance?
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What's my circumstances? Well, and then you have to go into it.
You gotta
But I think that's what pulls people in to work with us, is because we don't give them like, oh, it's great, you should buy a house right now.
Yeah.
No, it depends on your situation. What are your goals?
Right.
So then we go through, what are your goals, needs, wants? What's your budget? Who's making the decisions? Yeah. What do you need? Do you need a 5-bedroom? Do you need a 3-bedroom? Is 2,000 square feet too small? Is 5,000 square feet too much? What's your timeline? Like you said before, it's like, oh, you're going on a trip. Oh, the baby's coming. Oh, you're getting married?
Yeah.
It's like, and you want to buy a house when?
Yeah.
That needs to be.
Oh, the lease is up tomorrow.
Your lease is, I gave my notice.
Uh-oh. Go rent an apartment.
Go rent another apartment.
For 6 to 12 months, and then we'll.
And try to find a 6-month rental.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult.
You could do it in an apartment.
Yeah.
That's always your number one way to go.
But then you got to move again.
Yeah.
And how much stuff you got? You got to move all that stuff?
I know.
Multiple times? Do you want to move it once?
I would say just get a year term. Don't you think?
Yeah.
And
but make sure you check to see, how much it is to break the lease if you need to.
Yeah.
Because in case you do find a house, because the whole time, I guarantee you're living in your apartment, you're going to be on Zillow, you're going to be on Trulia, you're going to be on Realtor, you're going to be on Redfin. You're going to be looking at all these houses like, oh man, I'm in this rental for another 8 months, and this house is perfect. And it's like, well, what does it cost to release? What does it cost to break it? We say the time frame is 3 to 6 months
to start
looking,
to look,
to start
from
looking
when your lease is up.
For when your lease is up.
Yeah.
3 to 6 months.
So the takeaway here is, don't do that. Beep. If your lease is up 2 weeks from now, just go rent again. Sorry, that was just the reality. You're not buying a piece of pizza. That's what I always say. This is like an incredibly detailed transaction. And the thing is, like, I know you can just quote unquote buy a house willy-nilly, but when I see people do that, they regret typically sets in, buyer's remorse. They're kind of trapped in a situation. Sometimes I've even seen people like squeeze themselves into something that's such an ill fit because of some like fantasy they have, right? It's like
some video they saw.
Yeah.
Promotional video from some real estate guru that has already have boatloads of money. Yeah. And they're able to do this and tell you can do it too.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but you got to learn to crawl before you walk. Mm-hmm. Maybe one day you can get there, but you got to work like they did, or be lucky.
Yeah.
Or be born into it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they struggle with like how to get into real estate.
Yeah.
Which kind of goes into, where do I start?
Yeah.
Of this
Yeah. So we have a question, don't we, Ian?
We do have a question.
Okay.
So we're looking at Bigger Pockets, trying to answer some questions that we saw were interesting to us, because it's one of those things that we feel is a question that we get a lot.
Yeah, and these are like the 101 level investor questions, which is who we want to talk to. It's the 101, 102, or even maybe not now investor. Mm-hmm. And just kind of help shed some light. Future investor, but maybe not now. Okay, maybe not.
Maybe you're thinking about it. Maybe you're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
How do I get myself prepped to get into real estate?
That's right.
And investing.
Yeah, and so we're going to answer those. We're just going to start answering questions, and hopefully that helps you, just kind of know where you're at on the pathway. Okay, because to execute, which means to like start the search, like be approved financially and truly able to, and then start the search, and then negotiate contract, and then close. Like before all that comes the qualification, and the qualification is that's a process within itself. I mean, again, so many people think I can do this, or I should do this, but we're always trying to get to the nitty gritty of like, are they able and are they willing? And that's how we're always helping people qualify themselves, and how we're qualifying people that come to us that want us to help them perform and execute on their real estate, investing goals and journeys. But again, as a professional, we're just trying to help them like be honest about it. So we're going to just, I don't want to beat a dead horse. You basically already said what I'm saying, but let's just read the question. How do you think? Okay, this is from Andy from Bigger Pockets. So Bigger Pockets, by the way, if you don't know what that is a great big
resource.
Wide net resource for all of you new investors of any capacity. I mean, rental property, BRRRR, which is kind of something they really coined. It's really where I learned about BRRRR years ago, from Bigger Pockets. I feel like I don't want to call it invented it, but I feel like they really marketed it and coined it. Anyway, that stands for buy, rehab, refi, rent. Okay. And or like wholesaling or flipping or buying commercial real estate assets, like hospitals, which most people would not probably be buying hospitals, but hey,
if you can,
warehouses, storage facilities, car washes, small hotels, small retail facility infrastructures. But it's a really great resource. So if you were an Investor 101 and somehow you got to us before you've ever got to Bigger Pockets, go check them out. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, you won't.
No.
It's got a just incredible amount of information.
Yeah.
A lot of it, anecdotal stories from other people.
Yeah.
But it's a way to find a question that you might not even have yet, right?
Right.
So,
and it's just a bunch of people just figuring it out.
And so, it's a community of people trying to get better.
Try to read that in.
What's that?
Oh, your disk is almost full.
Save space by optimizing storage.
Shit. Well, hopefully it works out. Okay. So this is a long question, but I'm going to read the whole thing because it was really well written. So thanks, Andy, for your comedy. Okay. I've dove deep into the realms of real estate wisdom, heard every guru spiel, and read more how-to guides than I care to admit. Yet, here I am, stuck in the bog of analysis paralysis, feeling more confused than when I started. Flash back to my glory days at 16, slinging pizzas and dreaming of real estate riches. Fast forward to now, a fresh 24-year-old, recently booted from my cushy W-2 job paying $80,000 a year, left to ponder the meaning of life and the potential of my bank account. Now I find myself in the trenches of self-employment at my buddy's small business lending firm, with a 1099 in one hand and $75,000 in student loan debt on the other. Oh, the joys of adulthood. But as Frank Sinatra said, that's life. I'm determined to achieve financial freedom and live the life I've always dreamed of. Let's talk numbers, shall we? We've got expenses dancing around $2,000 to $3,000 a month. a modest 10K statch, and a student loan payment $725 a month. Ouch. The size of a small country's GDP. I also have $58,000 invested in individual brokerage accounts and $22,000 in my Roth IRA. Although some say this is impressive, I feel so far behind. Now on to the $1 million question. How does one embark on a real estate journey with pockets as empty as my social calendar on a Saturday night? Be the BRRRR strategy, single family, Section 8, small multifamily, large multifamily, flipping, subject to, wholesaling, slow flips, storage facilities, car washes, laundromats. The possibilities are vast as my confusion. But wait, I hear you say, what about flipping? Cash is king, right? If only it were so simple. Sure, I've scoured Zillow like it's my full-time job, and let's face it, it sort of is. But only properties I find are nestled snugly into the heart of the Midwest, a land as foreign to me as quantum physics. I think this is where I would get the most value, and it definitely has the most opportunity, but again, it's foreign as a flip phone. So, what's a broke, bewildered, aspiring real estate mogul to do? Do I gamble my last dime on a single family cash cow, or do I roll the dice on a flip and hope Lady Luck is on my side? I'm at a crossroads, folks, and I've had my fill of gurus peddling dreams for the price of a small island nation. I refuse to sit idly by, twiddling my thumbs while life passes me by. So here I am, dear reader, bearing my soul and begging for guidance. Will I emerge victorious from this real estate labyrinth, or will I forever be lost in the sea of what-ifs? Stay tuned for the next episode of Real Estate Roulette, one man's quest for financial freedom. Coming soon to a blog near you. And remember, laughter is the best medicine, especially when your bank account is running on fumes. Cheers to the journey ahead. All right, so here's the details about Andy. Okay, so he's 24. He has about 70 grand. Okay, he has about 70 grand. He's in a new W-9 job, which means 1099,
1099,
which means what we are.
Self-employed.
Yeah, not getting a paycheck. Let's just summarize it like that. A consistent paycheck. Commission. He's on commission.
He's on commission. You're not getting a 2-week paycheck every 2 weeks.
No, you're not. Okay, and then he's in Long Island, New York, which I don't know much about that market, but I bet it's more expensive than here.
I guarantee you it is. Even though we're not in a small market. Dallas Fort Worth is a big market. Oh, wait, I don't know if we told you guys that.
Oh yeah.
But we are mile 27 Realty in Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah.
Dream team right here. Heather Anderson,
Ian Starr,
at your service.
Yellow.
But
Long Island, New York.
Long Island.
See, Ian, can you see if you can see what's the average purchase price? Long Island, New York. How do you even look that up? I don't know.
Great question.
Okay. It's our first time. We never looked up. Ian likes to use DuckDuckGo. So, okay. While Ian's looking that up, he said he's read every... Oh, good question, Ian. Staten Island.
Is it Long Island? I said Long Island.
Let me check it out. Long Island, New York. So the thing is, he's 24, which I applaud his umption. I mean, when I was 24, see, I was already in real estate when I was when I was 24, but I damn sure didn't have 70 grand in my savings. Did you?
I didn't have $7 in my
yeah,
savings account at 24.
But he does have student loans, so technically he has debt. So that's really, I mean, yes, he has that money, but he owes money. So whatever the net is, that's really what you're worth. Okay. So he's got a good attitude. He's got a promising attitude in a space that he knows he wants to be in. And he's already asking questions on forums. So that's a good sign.
Okay. Long Island, New York. Long Island, New York. A renowned residential hub is witnessing significant growth in its housing market, according to Redfin.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
According to Redfin, the median sales price of a home soaring to $644,000 last month, marking a 12% increase from the previous year. The region showcases a promising trajectory for real estate investors and homeowners alike. Median sales price per square foot stands at $417 per square foot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
417.
That's a lot.
I mean, when we
We're
see
seeing
like
220,
yeah, 220.
we're just like, dang.
Yeah, 2 to 250. We're like, whew.
That's a high price. So, yeah, I mean, his market is definitely a little bit.
I wonder what if he could buy anything in if that's the median price. That means median means like if you have 100 properties.
It's not an average. It's a
no,
median.
It's not an average.
Yeah.
And then like 20 of them are like, or let's say like 66 of them are like 600,000.
Mm-hmm.
It takes the number that is the most of that number.
Okay.
That's the real definition. Thank you very much. Okay, so wonder if he could buy anything out there, because he's saying he doesn't want to buy some random property in the Midwest that's $100,000 is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I will push back on Andy a little bit on that, because sometimes what you want and what's reality are two different things. And to be honest, even in just doing the Real Estate Oregon Trail, this isn't a podcast. What would you call this? Like a video? Vlog? Okay. Just in even getting this, it has been honestly months in the works, if not years, really, because, anyway, I won't even go into that rabbit hole. But my point is, I had to get a certain reality in me when I was learning about like marketing and social media marketing and all this stuff that I just didn't understand or know. And I was talking to all these marketing people, okay, hiring marketing coaches. And I had this thing in my head where I'm like, I don't want to spend the money on marketing because it might not work, And I couldn't wrap my head around that. I just couldn't accept that. But that's just the truth. I mean, to really do marketing, you will spend money on things that you don't know they're going to work.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a gamble.
It's a gamble, but
it's one of those things that like
you kind of have to do it.
What is it? I like the saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You don't take. Yeah. So I feel like I had to learn the reality and the truth, which took me a long time to accept that I'm going to have to spend money if I want to quote unquote market. Now, what I could control though is how much money I did want to spend. Like, for example, we bought these microphones, right? We bought the equipment to do this vlog, and that was an investment, but it's tangible. At least it's a real thing you get.
It's real.
But like with Andy, yeah, he might not want to buy this ethereal property in Nebraska. Yeah. But if that's what he can afford, that's what he can afford. If he lives in an area that the $600,000 median home, and you want to buy that, guess what? Save more money.
Save more money or move your market.
There you go.
That's your simple question or simple answer. Mm-hmm. Not a complicated question.
Yeah.
Even though you can make it complicated by like, I got to move and I got to do this. It's like, no, you can find another market to invest in. You just have to find the right team to invest with.
Yeah.
Right? And not as a team, as in, other people that are going to put their money into the equation. Mm-hmm. It's the team that is going to be your real estate professionals in that market.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's key.
That's where research probably should go into.
That's key, is finding the right team in that market. And you're right. Do we believe that there's a team just as good, if not better than us, in Olympia, Nebraska? Is that a city out there? What's the capital of Nebraska? Helena? No, Montana. Nebraska.
Hey Siri, what's the capital of Nebraska? Lincoln, Nebraska.
Lincoln. Do you believe, there's 100% a team probably better than us in Nebraska.
Oh,
probably, right?
Better, just as good.
Just as good. We'll get the job done.
There's plenty of people that are worse than us, I would say.
That's true.
But worse is subjective.
Yeah, I guess people think we're worse sometimes.
Yeah. People could think we're not great, but
can't please everyone.
Hey, our clients love us.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at our stats on Google.
Yeah, our Google reviews.
Google reviews are pretty good. We do a pretty good job.
Yeah, we do. They do love us and we love them.
Yeah, that's very true.
So I was thinking like he could, there's this really cool website called the National Association of Property Managers. Wait, NAR, National Association of Residential Property Managers. NARPM is the acronym.
NARPM, yep.
And I think it's a .org. Will you just check it out for me, Ian, real quick? Let me just, I already gave some misinformation today about that stat I started with about how many people had cars. So I want to give right information. But anyway, you could go there, Andy, and you could Google in NARPM's intranet, if you will, what look for property managers. Yeah, narpm.org. Cool, narpm.org. Let's see if we can find any realtors, property managers, and leasing agents in Lincoln, Nebraska. And you could just call them. Here's the key. If you want to do rental property investing in any market, you need to work, if you can, with somebody that does it for a living. I think that's really important, is if you're going to niche out and go and build the team around that niche goal that you have. It's not saying you can't do a good job if you work with a traditional buyer or seller realtor, but you really need to work with someone that specializes in the thing you want to do. That would be some of the best advice I could give. And Ian brought that up earlier, just working with the right team. It's numero uno importante, okay? And I would definitely consider that. Just if you think you want to be rental property, then start working with a rental property specialist. And that would be a property manager, which is almost always a leasing agent, which is almost always a realtor that specializes in rental property investing and investors. Almost always. It's a pretty common thing in our little world. If you want to do a flip, Andy, Lincoln, Nebraska is not your market, my friend. I'm sorry. It is so hard to pull flips off when you're not in the market. That is the number one misconception I have seen and, retaliated on. We have a lot of California investors, for example, and they always want to do flips and they want to buy, small apartment buildings and stuff like that. And you can do the small apartment building more easy if you have money. Because those are expensive.
Not seeing anything in Nebraska.
Well, that backfired. Okay, well.
I'll try this.
Strike that. Well, Ian's going to keep taking a look here, but I feel like you can't flip unless you're in the market because you got to watch the asset. And it's really hard to find people that would do the flip for you, because then they're just going to take the profit. So be careful about that. Investor beware. I've never even known that where how to do it when you're not involved, but I'm sure there's a way. One way is you have a lot of money. If you're the money person, I've seen that where.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, okay. So we're back on?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, Ian.
We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, it says it has 14 search results.
Okay.
For Nebraska.
Okay, the state of Nebraska.
State of Nebraska.
Okay.
So I can see at least 2 in Lincoln.
Cool.
On the first page. Second page shows 3. So we have 3. We have 3 property managers in Lincoln, Nebraska on NARPM.
Yeah. It's a good place to start. I mean, just that tool alone. If you think you want to do rental property investing, that tool alone is a great asset. Oh, and by the way, that's not just, yes, it is, residential property. That's specifically
to residential properties.
For residential, which I think is even better, the fact that it's not all over the place. Because even in rental property investing, again, there's a lot of possibilities in that. Mm-hmm. So anyway, if you want to do rental property investing, you might want to, if this is the money you got to work with today, maybe find a market that suits that, even though you don't want to.
Right.
I mean, I don't know about you, and there's a lot of things that I want, but it's not realistic.
No, I mean, it goes back to your goals, right? So if you have a goal where you need to be, you need to have a house under your belt in the first year, Andy.
Yeah.
You might have to make some sacrifices,
I
right?
like that.
Or
Well said.
Save up.
Well said, Ian. Yeah, if his goal is like, I want to own real estate. I was pretty asset driven when I was young like that. I was, because I had a finance background and I learned assets. Plus in college, I had some friends and they were drug dealers and they never had anything to show for all their money.
Well, because they probably used their money on stupid stuff.
They did.
It's college.
They bought stupid stuff, and I just thought it was such a waste. And when I said, I'm never doing that. When I start making money, I'm gonna buy assets.
Oh, you're never gonna deal drugs, or you're never
I'm never gonna deal drugs.
Spend frivolously.
And that.
Oh.
And I have spent frivolously, but not all my money.
Yeah.
I guess what I said is
you have something to show for it.
Exactly. I said I'll do a few stupid things with my money, sure, because when you don't have money and then you do, I almost think it's a rite of passage. Like,
do something
you can't even help yourself. Yeah. You just don't know. You start making $100,000. Like, I made $12,000 in 2004. In 2005, I made $120,000. Okay,
it's quite a change.
Yeah, it's a big jump. I got audited actually, but the thing is, you don't understand. You just think you're going to make 120 for the rest of your life. You think that's the beginning, right?
This is it.
It's only going up.
It's only going up from here.
I'll never stop raining money.
No,
it's usually not true for most people, myself included. But you just don't understand. You're like, $400 for dinner, no big deal, right? Because you just pulled in. I don't know. You just had a good month and you closed $25,000.
I can do that.
No big deal.
A couple bottles of wine.
Yeah,
some oysters.
It is a big deal, But
it's
the thing is, but the key is you don't blow all your money. Yeah. So you take that $50,000 of that 120 at least, and you go buy a house because now you got an asset, And
that is a forced savings account.
Exactly, it's a forced savings account. Yeah,
building equity.
So maybe to your point, maybe Andy, it's important to him to own assets. And if it is, Andy, Lincoln, Nebraska is your city, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can always, use that money to
call Dana Stefan. She's waiting for you.
Dana Stefan. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, she's there. And then who else?
Who else we got?
You've got William H. Jeffrey.
Okay.
And John Rademacher.
Okay.
They are your Lincoln, Nebraska people on NARPO.
Boom! I bet they could help you out, man.
Yeah, I mean, if Lincoln, Nebraska is the random city that you were thinking of.
So where would you go to find out? Like, what are some resources that could help Andy see what he could afford? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, what is it? Obviously, if you can figure out let me put it this way.
Okay.
To figure out what you can afford, you'll need to talk to a mortgage lender.
Okay, that would be step one. You're right.
I think it would be step one, right?
I think you're right.
And then they can tell you how much you're able to afford.
Yeah.
Just by you can do the not a pre-approval but a pre-qualified, right? So they're going to ask you some questions, get you qualified.
Oh wait, he is working with a lender.
He works at a lender company. He's not working with a lender.
That's true.
Right. And not all the people are going to be in Andy's position where,
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah.
We're using Andy as a reference, right?
Yeah, air quotes.
Yeah. Reference. But no, I think Andy's on the right track, right? Yeah. Because how many 24-year-olds do you know that have their stuff together?
No, not
like
many.
That. I mean, it's I'm sure there's plenty of them, but the percentage is much lower than the opposite.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like good resources.
Wait a minute. Should Andy pay off his debt first? Should Andy get his student loans? Because he says he's got
$75,000 in student loans.
$750 a month.
Yeah.
Should he just get his student loans paid off first before he invests? I get that question a lot.
That's a good question.
People are like, should I pay off my debt first or do I build an emergency fund? And I'm always like, look, get your debt paid off.
You need to get the debt paid off.
Then your credit card is your emergency fund while you're paying off your debt. And if you have an emergency, put it back on your credit card and then pay that off. I think that's the answer. Maybe, Andy, you just need to pay your student loan off.
Because if you were to pay that student loan off, right, in an accelerated way, right, you're going to cut out a lot of the interests on those loans. Yeah. Because that's what's probably killing you.
That's true.
Every loan, you're getting yourself killed by high interest rates.
It's true.
So I mean, it's like what a lot of real estate and just financial gurus, we got to get that debt away.
Yeah.
Because the debt is preventing you from saving. It's preventing you from saving, but it's also preventing you from moving forward with your goals.
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, like, I would advise everyone to just not be in debt.
No, me too.
Especially student debt.
It feels really good to not have debt.
Yeah.
Except for mortgages.
If you have a mortgage debt, you feel great about that.
And you have no other debt, that's a good feeling.
Pay off your credit cards fully, every balance.
Yeah.
All the normal stuff you're going to hear from most people. But yeah, I'd say it would be very advantageous for him to just dilute that student loan out of his books.
Yeah, man, I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe because he's 24 and he said
you're 24. You're still young. You still have so much time.
I mean, crazy. It's all relative. Like, I remember feeling like him at 24, thinking I'm so far behind. And like, if I could talk to my 24-year-old self right now, I would literally shake myself and be like, "Oh my God, what are you doing with your
money? Stop buying stupid stuff."
Right.
That's what I would tell myself.
That's what you would tell yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I would tell myself, like,
I could still tell myself that stuff.
Yeah, I need to tell myself that too. Still. But I would say, like, just enjoy being 24. And like, now let me back up. I'm not trying to be like, don't have any goals. Okay. I'm not trying to be like, it's not a good thing that you're driven. That will drive you in life. You will clearly be
successful,
clearly, but just don't beat yourself up. Don't feel like
don't compare yourself
behind.
Yeah.
Don't compare yourself.
That's the thing.
I like that.
Do not compare yourself to other people.
I love that.
Like 100%. Like, you don't know where they are at. You don't know what help they've gotten.
Yeah.
They can tell you all they want about their situation, like our situation, right? We're going to tell you everything we know about our situation. Mm-hmm. But, don't compare yourself to us.
You know what? There's a saying.
Well, you could always compare yourself to like the past, right?
Yeah.
Like, to compare myself to where I was at his age. Yeah. Like, you're doing the right thing, my friend. You're doing it right.
Yeah, you really are. Like, so there's a I don't know what you call it, saying, slogan. It says, "Comparison is the stealer of all joy."
Yeah.
And it's actually biblical, because like, comparison's been around since the dawn of time. Mm-hmm. We're pack animals. We want to be with people. That's why we want to know, like, girls. We always are like, "Hey, Megan, are you going to go to the party? Awesome. Hey, what are you wearing?" You want to be like the people. Mm-hmm. But then it has this catch-22 element, which makes you feel less than if you don't get it right, if you will. You can't really get it wrong, but I don't know.
It's all subjective in your head.
I just know comparison is stolen a lot from me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, don't compare yourself to other people, other investors.
So
just,
you can't be behind if you're not comparing yourself. There's no way you can be behind. Is that true? Could that be true?
I mean, yeah, it could
be. If you're not comparing yourself
to other people, you're not behind anybody, because you have nobody to compare yourself to.
Right.
Set goals for yourself, meet those goals.
Yeah.
Set attainable goals. That's the thing that people are like, "Oh, I want to make $1 million in 2 years." It's like, is that really attainable? Maybe for some, but are you in a position to where you could make $1 million or $2 million or $1 million in 2 years? You're not.
Probably not.
Most likely, you set a small goal for yourself, meet that goal, and then make that goal a little bit bigger next time.
I like that. Yeah, there's a saying I really like now. It says, people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Maybe Andy, that's your mantra, Andy. Maybe consider adopting that mantra. And by the way, Bill Gates said that, and before him, he actually said it from hearing it from somewhere else, because there's nothing new under the sun. Everything just kind of recirculates. But that thing's been around a long time, well before Bill Gates. And I would agree with that, because, and Ian, when I was writing the book that we're, editing, or that's being edited right now, What Type of Rental Property Investor Am I? Mm-hmm. It seemed to be a theme, Ian, of all the investors that I talked to interview, all the whales, the ones that like made it. And we define a whale as anybody that's made $1 million or more in real estate. We're not after billions, we're after a few million. We've decided we're good with that. We don't need a few billion. Yeah. We're good.
Too many billionaires.
We're good with a few million.
I'm
now,
good with
if
being
we
a
make
millionaire.
a few billion, so be it, right? But we're not about that. We're just like, we learn a few $1 million is good enough For us, I mean, not good enough. I'm trying to say like a couple $1,000,000 will get you where you want to go.
That's a good goal to strive for.
Yeah. Great goal to get to your first $1,000,000.
Why not?
And then we'll talk, right? Oh, you're busy.
You know.
Popular.
I gotta.
Take it.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hello, this is Ian.
Welcome to the Real Estate Oregon Show, folks. This is real.
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I know this is a little random. We've connected in the past a couple times.
I think it's a sales call. It's a sales call. It's a sales call from a lender, Andy. This is probably what you're going to be doing, is calling realtors like us.
I actually am in the middle of a meeting. Can I call you back? All right, thanks. All right, bye.
Sales call.
Sales call. Lender telling me like all these great new options that they have for current buyers in our market. So,
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention to the question or what she was telling me because obviously somebody was talking while I was listening.
But also, the thing is, we don't really, at this point, we don't really take new lenders because we have
our lenders
that we work with for years and years.
For years and years.
That's another thing. Like, we're not being cocky about that. It just takes you so many years to build your team
and build a relationship with, somebody.
Learn how to work together. And like, you why would you want to, you want to build a process as a real estate team. And you don't want to change that because that's a hard thing to figure out. And then once you got your team, as long as everybody's still in business and doing their thing, you just prime that pump. You know what I'm saying? And you just run the deals through it. So
yeah,
we really don't change partners a lot.
And forget it.
Yeah, we
like
have
Ron Popeil food dehydrator.
Exactly.
You're going to put the real estate transaction in that processor, and you're going to come out with some really nice house jerky.
Yeah. And also because we got to set expectations for our clients. And so if we're always working with new partners like lenders and title companies and inspectors, it's complicated, and you can't tell them what to expect. Yeah. And then it puts a bad thing on you because then that causes stress, and our job is to remove the stress. Anyway, back to you, Andy. Okay. So
where do you start?
Man, I don't know. Ian, you know how like sometimes I just have the gut feeling, and my gut for Andy is because he's in a newer job and it's a 1099 position and he has the student loans and he's 24 and he thinks he's behind, which is nonsense because he's comparing himself. It's the only reason he thinks that. I promise you, Andy, you're 24. Chill out. It's all good. If you buy your first house at 26 or 27, you're going to be okay. Unless you're in a position financially where you can do it. My gut says you're not. Even though you got that $70,000, which I'm really proud of you on. Good job.
Yeah.
Get your student loans paid off.
Get those student loans paid off.
Consider getting your real estate license if you want to learn from the ground up. That's how we both did it, and it helps you buy property.
Consider, you could follow people that are doing wholesales. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. You can, go meet people at auctions for real estate auctions.
Yeah.
If they're selling, just like, hey, I saw you bought that house. Like, how did you get into it?
Yeah.
Or where are you at in your investment portfolio, career, or life? Some people might say like, oh, I don't have time to talk to you. Some people might open up.
Yeah.
Usually, people that are successful love to talk about their success.
They really do. They want to. It's like this fundamental thing because you've been helped, and so now you get to a point where you want to help.
You want to help.
It's this natural thing that
most people.
You will find someone if you look long enough.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, let me. It's like I just have some questions for you.
They'll answer
Would you mind
Yeah.
taking some time, or can I give you a call later?
Just like we're doing right now.
Like all the
Andy.
people that are asking questions. Yeah, like Andy, you've got plenty of people answering that question. Like I've been. So it's just do the same thing. But do the same thing in your area where people are already buying You know, call up local realtors you see a lot of signs, and ask them questions about what they do.
There you go.
It's just about information gathering.
Yeah,
and then
that's
taking
where
all
you're at, Andy.
Yeah.
I know you said you've been to every guru under the sun, but I got to push back on that, Andy. You're 24. There's no way.
If YouTube's your gurus, then you need to go to your local guru market.
Yeah, go to talk to the residential rental property manager through NARPM. That's who you need to talk to. Those people are in the trenches. They're doing the deals. They're people like Ian and I that you don't even know us from Adam because we're not online because we're too busy doing the damn deal. Right, Ian? Mm-hmm. Most of the time, you don't hear from people like us because they're too busy working. You see, we just happen to be in a unique position where we have a team. Ian, and in our team is just Ian and I. Is that even a team? Is it a
sure.
duo?
It works.
And then Laura's like basically
she's our
admin.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's Ian and I pretty much doing the deals. But we're in a unique position because we've been working together for years, and Ian is working like he's what we call boots on the ground. He's like in the trenches every day. Would you call the trenches? That sounds negative.
No.
Because you like it.
Yeah.
He enjoys it, which is amazing and wonderful.
I'm on site.
He's on site. He's literally doing the deal. He's closing. He's putting contracts together. He's showing. He's meeting inspectors. He's taking bunt cakes to the closing table.
Yeah.
And then my job now is focused on doing things like this. So we're in a unique position that, I couldn't do this years ago because I was doing it with him.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point is most of the time you don't see the Ians of the world or Heathers of the world because we're too busy working. So if you call one of these people on NARPM, if you give old William H. Jeffrey a call, he'll
probably shoot you straight.
Pretty straight.
Yeah.
He's going to qualify you too. Sometimes we get so many calls like you saw Ian just get, and we just have to quickly sort them out because so many people call us.
Yeah, I know. You always have to answer your phone. Well, I feel like if you're a real estate agent, you should always be answering your phone. Mm-hmm. Unless you're, obviously busy, but any call that comes in, unavailable, whatever the case may be, just answer it and say, hi, my name's Ian.
And if you really want to get a hold of someone, do what we call a triple threat. Yeah. Call them, text them, and email them. So call them if they don't answer, immediately do a text, and then follow it up with an email if you have it.
There, see, there's
another one.
But I'm not going to answer the unknown.
Not that one. Okay, well, I think another thing, Andy, hey, come write blogs for us.
Yeah.
You're pretty good, man.
Yeah. Come and write a blog.
Impressive. Yeah. Okay. Maybe he could be like the real estate reporter. We could send him around to like markets. He goes to Nebraska and just like, I don't know.
If you want to pay him to do that, I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Well, he'd have to be an intern.
Yeah. Free labor, sorry.
We'll trade you in advice and we'll help you get your first rental property.
How's that sound?
That would be the trade. That's the thing about real estate, Andy. We work on commissions, so a lot of our world is like we barter, sort of.
Yeah.
We just, that's how our world works. I don't know. It's a different world over here because sometimes you just do all the work and you never get paid, or you don't get paid for a year or 2 or 3 or 4. What was your longest deal?
What do you mean longest deal?
The one that took the longest.
As like the transaction or?
Yeah, the Richardsons.
Oh gosh. For almost 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long time. That's not the norm.
No.
Couldn't be. All right. Well, I think hopefully we added a little light to you, Andy.
Hopefully. But if we didn't and we made it more confusing,
we're sorry.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Andy. Good luck.
Good luck though, Andy. We know you're going to do well.
Yeah, you'll be fine, Andy. It's all good, man. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Life is short. It's over like that. All right. To you, Andy, and all the proverbial Andys out there, which is Andy's a metaphor for everybody, I guess, in that situation. We'll see you later. Signing off.
Bye.
Bye.